Hi, I'm Michelle Camilleri, and this is my film review for Introduction to Philosophy, and it's a review on Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide is a very military film. It was set by the military. They're on a submarine and stuff, so it deals with a lot of moral issues and a lot of ethical issues. The sense of the movie: you start out, you're in the submarine, and you have a chain of command, and the military code of justice gives you your actions. It gives you what you're supposed to do, and it tells you how to dress. It tells you how to address your superiors. It tells you all these things that you're supposed to do. And so Kant, Immanuel Kant, is a philosopher who talks about doing duty for duty's sake, and this very much fits in and ties with the military. He says that a action or a thought is moral if it is duty bound or done by duty. It is irrational if it is not. So it is very irrational for any military person to think, I'm just going to go and decide that I'm in charge and what my superiors say doesn't matter. This movie is set in the Cold War, and for those of you who have not lived through the Cold War, it was a time when Russia was all together. They weren't divided up into these little countries, and the United States were together, and we were the two largest opposing powers in the world. And basically we're just sitting together, staring across oceans at each other with nuclear warheads aimed at each other. So that is the little bit of background history of this movie. And so Kant says, you know, he has a goodwill thought, and it is that we do good, we do moral duty for the good of everyone, for the good of the world, for the good of the men on the subs in this particular movie. And there's a big scene that shows a lot of moral and ethical drama. And it starts with the captain. They got an EAM, or an emergency action message, that tells them to go to DEFCON 3. And it tells them to fire these nuclear weapons. And at that time, the captains had the power to fire these nuclear weapons. Since then, it resides with the President of the United States. But at this point in time, submarine captains had that power. And so he's getting ready, he's going to do it, and that's his duty. And he is going to do his duty. Regardless of what anybody says, he's going to fulfill his duty, and he's going to do what he says. And while they're doing this, another emergency action message comes in, but it comes in the middle of a skirmish, and so it's cut off. And because it's cut off, they don't quite know what it says. It could tell them to abort, it could tell them fire immediately, it could tell them anything. So the XO, which is the second in command, has decided that he wants to wait. He wants to see what this particular message says. And that's a big ethical dilemma, because here is this set of rules, and Kant talks about how part of, rule utilitarianism says we follow a set of rules for society. And Kant is big on this at the time. And he's going against these rules that are set up for society, which is a hard thing to do when you're in a military or a society. And there's also every person, this is another thought process in philosophy, that every person has a differing opinion sometimes, and that opinion and that belief becomes their own truth. Whatever they believe is their truth to themselves. And the captain believes that we must follow this last order that we got. We must fire these nuclear warheads. That is his truth. And the XO believes we should wait, and that is his truth. So a mutiny is set up. A mutiny comes forth because of the two differing beliefs and truths. So there's a lot of ethical thought process and a lot of moral dilemmas in this movie. So it's a good movie. You should watch it.